Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Talking UNK. I'm Grace McDonald. Our guest today is Britney Kouma, director of the upcoming University Theatre production of The Haunting of Hill House, which runs November 16th through the 20th in the Fine Arts Building here at UNK. Thanks for joining us, Britney.
I'm happy to be here.
So, for my first question, just to give our viewers an idea of what The Haunting of Hill House is, what is the plot? Can you give us a brief description?
So, a doctor invites 3 people to the house, one of them being the person who will be inheriting the house, Luke Sanderson. His name's Dr. Montague, I should probably add that. And then Eleanor and Theodora. They are both people with like psychic abilities, kind of. One had a poltergeist event when she was a kid, and the other can name 19 cards out of 20 facing backwards. So they were all invited just to kind of get the feel and kind of understand Hill House, and the doctor really wanted scientific information, so they're all taking notes. Throughout the process of this, they kind of form a familiar bond with each other and really grow. Of course, horror happens, it's the haunting of Hill House, but the more important aspects of it is the isolation that they all experience throughout the way. Some other characters come together, but it's mainly the 4 that grow and move with the story.
Okay.
I don't want to give away the ending.
Well, that sounds pretty interesting. I am not as well versed in The Haunting of Hill House. I only watched the Netflix series, and I know it's adapted from a book series too. Some of the names are familiar to me from that, but how have you changed it and made creative differences with this UNK play?
Well, luckily I never hopped on the popularity train, so I have not seen any of the Netflix shows. I haven't read the book, so all I know is the script and what the script gave me. So I was able to just base it on that story and focus on what I had in mind. I moved it to 2021 to focus on the isolation aspect because with COVID and everything that we had experienced in the past couple years, it felt important to make that connection with our community.
So you had a completely blank slate, didn't you?
Yeah, it was nice to work with because then I was able to play with whatever I wanted to and try to incorporate different things that maybe other shows who have done The Haunting of Hill House haven't thought of, like moving it forward. And when I had my actors audition, because the show has some very heavy topics in it, I had to find some very talented individuals who could take on these roles and shake them off and be like, I am not these characters anymore, but really showcase everything that was needing to be told.
I'm sure people can get pretty sucked into their roles when you're on stage. I know that you've been in past main stage plays. This is your first student-directed one, right?
I was in a directing class, so I did 2 different cutting from a full-length play and then a 1-act. But for a full-length 2-hour, 3-act show, this is by far my first one, and I have run into a few bumps, but luckily Janice Franzak was my mentor, and she definitely helped me along the way.
Well, great. I'm glad that you have some other mentors to draw some information from. You are a senior majoring in 7 through 12 social sciences education with an endorsement in theater. How has this experience helped you grow within your educational experience at UNK?
Well, I bounced from one thing to another when I got here for my major, as most college students do. I really enjoy teaching, but I have found a love and passion in theater, and it has made me want to pursue getting my MFA in acting and become a college professor instead of going into the high school.
Wow. Okay, best of luck. You mentioned earlier how this is kind of an intense play. It's pretty eerie. What kind of challenges have been happening throughout production? Have there been any spooky experiences off stage, or how has it been?
We had to sage our space because we just weren't quite getting the energies that we needed. And the second that the rehearsal that after we saged was actually so much better and had so many more positive vibes. We were all very stressed. I had multiple people need to take a second to go out in the hall and recenter themselves before they came back into rehearsal. Their lines have taken so long to get down that it was just this week and we perform next week. So it's been bumpy with personalities crashing into each other, not quite getting the lines because the wording's a little off, and overall they've really taken on what they needed to do and they've gotten it done, but it took a little longer than we had hoped.
Well, I'm sure you're overcoming everything and it will be a great production. Can you tell our audience one more time when this play is and why they should go as a final pitch?
The play will be going November 16th through the 20th. At 7:30 for the 16th through the 19th, and then at 2 o'clock on the Sunday, the 20th. I would say you need to come just to, one, see the actors. They are absolutely brilliant, and two, just to find a different story than you might have seen on the Netflix show and feel the impact that this one might have on you instead.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure talking to you about your experience, and break a leg.
Thank you.
That's all for this episode of Talking UNK. Please subscribe to the Antelope on YouTube for future episodes. Thanks for watching.